Welcome to Obscure-Tober, an idea I came up with last year where I cover 3 random issues of 3 different comic book runs. At the end of the month, I'll put a poll up, and you, the viewers, can decide which of these I'll cover. But, Smokey, I hear you ask, that's only 3 weeks. October has 4 weeks. That's right, which is why the final week in October will be a normal What Is episode covering a very spooky Halloween comic. So stay tuned each week and see what I have in store for you. And before I start off this year's Obscure-Tober, here's a few plugs. I have a Patreon, and on this Patreon, I will be uploading pages from my work-in-progress horror western graphic novel, A Dead Fish in the Grass. It is probably going to be rated R if it was a movie, so, don't go in here if you're under the age of 18. It's pretty graphic, I'll say that. All 166 pages have been completely illustrated already. All that I'm doing now is digitally editing and lettering them. My plan is to get it published and sold in a tangible form, but until that happens, I'll just be uploading a couple pages to my Patreon each week. I will also be uploading pages from DESTRUCTO Boy and Other Exciting Tales there as well. DESTRUCTO Boy and Other Exciting Tales is a 40-page anthology made up of 3 stories that got published after I won a local contest last year. It is still on sale for $19.99 plus shipping in the description below. For $2 a month, you get access to DESTRUCTO Boy pages that I will be uploading each week. And at the $3 tier, you'll have access to both DESTRUCTO Boy and A Dead Fish in the Grass. At $5, you get something else. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it'll be on the screen. Look at it. Here's all the tiers. Released in 1991, written by Bob Budiansky with art by Brett Blevins. This is Marvel's Sleepwalker. I honestly never really understood the popularity of this character. I just didn't really get it. I've never really read anything that has to do with Sleepwalker. I remember there was an issue during Civil War, I think, where he helps some heroes escape S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe? Or I might be thinking of a completely different character because I can't find any evidence of this ever happening. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know. It's like a scene where I think there's characters that are like in a truck being transported and then the Sleepwalker helps them break out or something. Anyway, this book begins with a pickup basketball game played by Rick Sheridan. Just as he's about to alley-oop the ball, a purple-gloved hand snatches it out of the air, and a creature hovers above the court. Rick stares at the alien monster, and it's that one part of a nightmare where you're trying to scream, but you can barely make any noise, you know what I'm talking about. And the Sleepwalker then destroys the ball and moves towards him. Rick wakes up in a panic in the middle of the night, and his dog thinks it's the normal time to wake up, so he walks over and turns on the TV with his nose. Rick gets out of bed as the news station reports about a fight between Spider-Man and 8-Ball. Later that day, at Metropolitan University, Rick runs into his rollerblading girlfriend, Alyssa. They talk a little bit and then part ways. Later that night, Rick returns to his shitty apartment after walking his dog Rambo and crashes. In his dream, he lies on a beach with Alyssa. She comes up to him and says that she'll do anything he wants her to. And as they're about to have sex, the Sleepwalker appears from behind Rick. Typical, it can never have sex in dreams. Stupid brain. Rick attacks the alien creature as he grapples with it. Alyssa withers away into nothing and the ground opens up into an endless pit. But this pisses Rick off, and he starts fighting the dream monster with all his might. As the ocean tries to attack him, Rick rips a golden medallion off of the Sleepwalker's chest, and it explodes into a bright golden light. Rick stands alone on the beach, triumphant, as he sleeps in his bed. Rick wakes up at 8 a.m., fresh-eyed and ready for the day. But as he sits up, he realizes that he must have left his window open last night. Rambo turns on the TV and the news anchor reports about a robbery that was foiled. Rick gets ready as he watches the TV and he sees a fairly nearby location where a police officer describes something that wasn't human that stopped the robbers. And then an artist's rendition flashes onto the screen. That night, Rick and Alyssa go on a date to Coney Island. Rick tells her how freaked out he is after seeing the news report, and she makes like a quick joke about it before running off into a haunted house ride. As they're on the ride, a flash of bright light fills the room, and the Sleepwalker appears before their cart. Alyssa screams and grabs Rick, only to discover that he's asleep. She shakes him awake, and the creature then dissipates. Later that night, Rick drops off Alyssa and then heads home, horrified of what is happening to him. In the next few days, Rick refuses to sleep out of utter fear that the Sleepwalker creature only shows up when he's not awake. He stops playing basketball, begins failing his assignments, and forces himself to only drink coffee, his poor ass. 4 nights later, Rick walks like a zombie into a bodega with Alyssa. She tells him that she's really getting worried about him, and he tells her not to worry and picks up more coffee. Then he shuffles to the register right as 2 thugs bust in and hold the cashier at gunpoint. Rick slowly responds to this, causing the thug to smack him in the face with his handgun, knocking Rick unconscious. The thugs then grab Alyssa as Rick desperately tries to pick himself back up and stay conscious, but he's overcome and slips under. Then, from above Rick's body, the Sleepwalker forms itself. It slowly walks on clouds of smoke towards the 2 robbers, who freak out and blast him, sending the alien monster into the shelves as they run out of the store with Alyssa. The Sleepwalker picks itself back up and sprints away through the air. It passes Alyssa as she lies on the sidewalk and rushes after the getaway car. As the thugs peel out, a nearby streetlight stabs into their engine, launching the men clear out of the car. And one of them skirts across the asphalt and is eaten by a mailbox. Oh my god, think of how contorted his body must be. Jesus Christ. The other thug, high on either drugs or adrenaline or both, gets up and charges the creature with a pipe he found somewhere and slams it into the Sleepwalker. Then he calls for help to fight this monster, and a crowd of people run up and attack Sleepwalker with umbrellas and bricks and broken bottles and shit because New Yorkers stick together. So, Sleepwalker brings the pavement to life and uses it to wrap tendrils around all these people, confining them. The thug, who somehow dodged this attack, goes for another whack at Sleepwalker, but Sleepwalker grabs his pipe and crunches it like a straw wrapper. Then, Sleepwalker grabs the man and snarls as the guy pleads for mercy. Bright pink light flashes out of Sleepwalker's eyes, and another street lamp comes to life, grabs the man, and wraps itself around the man like a snake before returning to its normal height. Alyssa runs up and asks who this thing is, and from its lipless mouth, it says, "I am a sleepwalker." Then it vanishes into brilliant pink and white light. Alyssa runs back to the bodega as Rick is helped outside by the cashier, and Alyssa tells him what happened as Rick wonders what the hell he's going to do. The end. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you thought of this little excerpt from the Sleepwalker series. And remember that at the end of the month, I'll be posting a poll which will include Sleepwalker, Robin, and Transformers Armada. Stick around for the final week of October, where I'll be dealing with a specially spooky comic book. As always, follow me on Instagram at NotBlakeWild and at smokey'svideos, and check out my Patreon for various tier levels. I'll see you next time. Bye.